Hey, what's good, fam? How's everybody doing today? Well, listen, if your name happens to be Bia, I need you to go ahead and pull up a chair, because you just poked the wrong bear at the wrong time, and that bear goes by the name of Cardi B. And fam, when I tell you Cardi B did not come to play, Cardi B did not come to play. We are talking cheating allegations getting torched on live audio, a so-called fake Instagram account getting dragged into the light, Offset's name getting pulled into a side plot absolutely nobody saw coming, and this is the part that froze the entire internet mid-scroll, Cardi B announcing that she has a fully finished diss track sitting in the vault, and comparing the release of that record to dropping a nuclear weapon. Her words, fam. Cardi said when it comes to this, she's Churchill. Churchill. As in World War. As in somebody is about to get blown clean off the map. And the wildest part? This entire explosion started over one little comment that Bia could have simply scrolled past. One comment. That's it. That is the whole spark that lit this entire fire. Before anybody sprints to the comments to defend Bia, before anybody types in all caps about Cardi B doing too much, hold that thought. Put it in your drafts. Because I'm about to walk you through the full timeline, the actual sequence of events, and once you see how this thing unfolded step by step, you tell me who provoked who. To my Cardi fans, don't celebrate yet either, because there are layers to this mess that even the fan pages missed, including a rumor about Offset that the internet invented out of thin air, and Bia's response to it, maybe the loudest thing she said all week. So everybody get comfortable, because we are breaking this entire situation down piece by piece, receipt by receipt. So here's where it all kicks off. It's a regular Thursday. Doja Cat is on stream just vibing, doing what Doja Cat does, and at some point a Bia song comes on. Now, if you know anything about Doja Cat's chat, you know her fans are militant. Immediately the chat starts flooding in, telling Doja to cut that song off, because in their eyes, Bia had dissed Doja Cat in the past, and they were not about to sit there and let Doja give her any kind of shine. And you know what Doja Cat did? Doja Cat didn't care. Doja kept it moving, kept the vibes going, basically told the room it wasn't that deep. And look, whether you agree with that or not, that is Doja Cat being Doja Cat. Unbothered. Unbought. Doing whatever she feels like doing on her own stream, in her own house, on her own time. But here's where the dominoes start falling. Cause Bia sees all of this going down. Bia sees Doja Cat refusing to blacklist her, and Bia comes online to do something nobody expected. Bia issues an apology to Doja Cat for all the quote-unquote weird stuff she had ever said about Doja in the past. And honestly, on its face that reads like growth. Or at least it photographs like growth. A public apology, old tension squashed, everybody moves on, right? Wrong. Because the internet never lets anything stay clean for long. Somebody jumps into the conversation and asks Bia the question that changed everything. And I'm paraphrasing here, but the energy of the question was basically this: how are you over here apologizing to Doja Cat like you're some healed, reformed, brand new person when just last year in 2024, you made a whole diss track about Cardi B, a woman who, by every account, never did a single thing to you? Now fam, pause right there. Because Bia had options in that moment. Bia could have ignored it. Bia could have said, you know what, that was then, I'm in a different space now. Bia could have kept it cute, kept it brief, kept it moving the same way she was trying to keep it with Doja Cat. But that is not what Bia did. Bia looked at that question and Bia decided to double down. Bia's response, in essence, was, everything I said on that track was true, and I still stand on what I said about that other situation. I still stand on it. Fam. You are currently in apology mode. You are literally in the middle of a redemption tour stop with Doja Cat, cleaning up your reputation, presenting yourself as the bigger person, and in the very same breath, you turn around and re-up on a beef with Cardi B that has been dead and buried for over a year? Make it make sense. Because from where I'm sitting, that is not keeping it real. That is keeping a wound open on purpose. And you already know that Cardi B was going to see that. There was no version of this timeline where Cardi B scrolls past the words, I still stand on it, and just goes back to her evening. None. Zero. That door never existed. And sure enough, about an hour later, 60 minutes fam, that is all it took, Cardi B pulls up on X Spaces and addresses the whole thing directly. No publicist. No carefully worded statement typed up by a label intern. No cryptic Instagram story where everybody has to play detective about who she's talking about. Cardi B got on live audio in front of the entire world and emptied the whole clip. And I mean the whole clip. And the first thing Cardi went after was the biggest, ugliest allegation of them all. The old claim, the one Bia pressed onto wax back in 2024, that Cardi had been unfaithful to Offset during their marriage. And fam, Cardi B did not just deny that allegation. Cardi B obliterated it. Cardi said that throughout her entire 7-year marriage to Offset, 7 years, she never flirted with another man, never kissed another man, never so much as exchanged DMs with another man. And then Cardi B did the one thing people only do when they are dead serious about being believed. Cardi invoked her children. Cardi put her kids on that denial. Now you can say a lot about Cardi B, and people have and people will, but you do not drag your children into a statement unless you are prepared to stand on that statement for the rest of your life. That told me everything I needed to know about how seriously Cardi wanted the world to take that response. But Cardi was not done. Oh no, Cardi B was just getting warmed up. Because after torching the cheating allegation, Cardi issued a challenge that, to this very moment, has not been answered. Cardi B said, "And I'm giving you the cleaned up version, name one man. Name one man I ever cheated with. Drop the proof. What are you waiting on?" And fam, that is the part one need everybody to sit with for a second. Because it's one thing to say you stand on what you said. It is another thing entirely to be asked publicly, in front of millions of people, to produce a single name and come back with silence. If the truth is the truth should have a name attached to it, right? If somebody told the whole world your spouse was unfaithful, and your spouse looked into the camera and said name one person, and you could not name one person, what exactly are we standing on? Vibes? Feelings? A beat and a grudge? But here's where Cardi B flipped the entire table over. Because Cardi did not stay on defense. Cardi went on offense, and Cardi B aimed directly at the intersection of Bia and Offset. According to Cardi, and I want to be extremely clear here, these are Cardi B's allegations, and Bia has not confirmed a single piece of this, but according to Cardi, Offset had allegedly been involved with somebody close to Bia. Somebody in Bia's own orbit. And Cardi claims Bia knew about it. Read that again. The woman who built an entire diss track on the accusation that Cardi betrayed her marriage, allegedly knew that Offset was allegedly creeping with somebody in her own circle, and according to Cardi B's version of events, said nothing, and instead was out here running fake pages. Because Cardi went even further and accused Bia of operating a so-called Finsta, a fake Instagram account, that was allegedly being used to spread rumors around Offset's circle. Cardi basically painted a picture of a whole behind-the-scenes operation. Group chats, fake pages, whispers getting passed around like contraband, all of it circling her marriage, all of it circling Offset, and all of it in Cardi B's telling with Bia's fingerprints somewhere nearby. Now again, alleged. Bia has not confirmed one piece of that. But fam, the internet heard one sentence of that Space's audio, and immediately built an entire courtroom in the comments. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, imaginary flight records, whole timelines constructed out of pure speculation. The internet had a full trial running before the audio even finished playing. And fam, that was just the warm-up act. Because what Cardi B said next wasn't about Offset, wasn't about marriage, wasn't about rumors. It was personal, pointed, surgical. Cardi B looked into that microphone and read Bia for absolute filth. Her look, her sound, her pen, her age, her relationship, even the air coming out of her mouth. Yeah, we are going there. But to understand why Cardi went that hard, you have to understand what Cardi says really started this whole thing years ago. And according to Cardi B, it was not a diss track. It was not a sample. According to Cardi, it started with Bia trying to be her friend. Stay right here because this is where the story stops being funny and starts being a little bit sad. So let's get into the read first because the read is what set every blog on fire. Cardi B looked at this whole situation and essentially told Bia, "I don't want to look like you. I don't want to sound like you. I don't want to rap like you. I don't want to dress like you. I don't even want to smell like you." And then Cardi added the detail that launched 1,000 reaction videos, claiming that everybody talks about how Bia's breath stinks. Fam, your breath, on live audio, in front of the world, that is not a diss anymore, that is an exorcism. That is somebody trying to remove your entire spirit from the premises. And Cardi B kept going. Cardi said even Bia's own nieces don't want to be like her. The nieces, fam, Cardi B went and got the extended family involved. Then Cardi took a swing at the one thing a rapper is supposed to own no matter what, the pen, alleging that Bia didn't even write her own hit record. And just in case there was a single stone left unturned, Cardi B came for Bia's personal life too, pointing out that Bia is in her 30s while her boyfriend just turned 21. Just turned. Fam, Cardi made sure to emphasize the just. Now, I need to be fair for a second because I always keep it fair. Is that personal? Extremely. Is that below the belt? Arguably the belt is on the floor at this point. But here's what you have to understand about where that energy came from, because Cardi B did not wake up on a random Thursday and choose violence for no reason. According to Cardi, this anger has been marinating for years, and the root of it is not competition. The root of it, in Cardi B's version of events, is rejection. Let me explain because this is the part of the story that reframes everything. Cardi said, and Cardi claims she has recordings to back this up, that Bia wanted to be her friend so badly it was uncomfortable. Cardi B told that Space's audience flat out that she has Bia on recording because she was actually talking to this girl at one point. And according to Cardi, the dynamic was always the same. Bia reaching, Cardi retreating. And look, Cardi admitted something about herself here that I actually respect. Cardi B said she's not a phone person, she doesn't really like talking to people like that. She keeps her circle small and her distance smaller. That's just who Cardi is. Some people are built for constant contact and some people are built like Cardi B. So here's how it allegedly played out. Bia does a song with a certain young lady, and we're not going to keep saying the name, the internet knows exactly who. And instead of just doing the song and moving on with her career, Bia allegedly kept sending people to Cardi with messages. Oh, I hope Cardi doesn't have a problem with me. Please let Cardi know I don't have an issue with her. According to Cardi B, every single time Bia would run into Cardi's ex, same script. I told Cardi I don't have a problem with her. She would send Cardi's friends. She would send everybody. Messenger after messenger after messenger, all carrying the same little note. No problem here, no problem here, no problem here. And Cardi's position on the collaboration itself? Cardi B said she never cared. Not once. Cardi said if a song is going to benefit your career or your life, do it. Cardi B has never been the type to block anybody's bag over a feature. Cardi said she wouldn't have cared if the record was with anybody at all, a pop singer, a Pink Sweat, whoever. Her one and only requirement was simple. Don't be fake about it. Don't smile in my direction through messengers while something else is going on behind the curtain. That, according to Cardi B, is the whole crime. Not the song. The fakeness. Now here's where the story takes its darkest turn, and honestly, this is the part that made me understand the rage. Cardi described being pregnant, fam, at home, minding her business, watching Netflix, chilling in full nesting mode. And the phone rings. And it's somebody telling her, hey, they're saying this and that about you. And Cardi B is sitting there, pregnant, panicking, completely sidetracked, not even knowing what anybody is talking about. So Cardi does what Cardi does. Cardi B starts calling everybody. Who said this? Where did this come from? Who started this? And Cardi traced it. Cardi B followed that rumor all the way back down the river. And according to Cardi, the river ended at Big Tigger. Big Tigger, fam. And Cardi's exact energy about that was basically weirdo behavior from grown men too. Because in Cardi B's telling, this is what her life has been. An endless conveyor belt of rumors, fake pages, whispers, and messengers, and every time she grabs one of these stories by the tail and follows it back to the source is never somebody with a real grievance. It's always somebody with an agenda. And then Cardi B said the quiet part out loud, and I think this is the most honest moment of the entire Spaces. Cardi said, y'all do not understand how much these girls have put me through. And when Cardi B was asked, well, not asked, when Cardi asked herself out loud, why is it? Why does this keep happening? Cardi B answered her own question with one word: jealousy. Always talking. Always in her business. Always circling. And fam, whether you love Cardi B or can't stand Cardi B, I need you to sit with the image Cardi just painted. A pregnant woman on her couch watching Netflix, getting pulled out of her piece because somebody somewhere pressed send on a rumor. And years later, that same energy is still knocking on her door. Except this time it knocked wearing an apology to Doja Cat in one hand and a double-down diss in the other. Oh, and one more thing before we move on, because this detail matters for later. Remember that Cardi said she has recordings. Cardi B said she got this girl on recording from back when they were actually talking. Keep that in the back of your mind. Because when we get to this alleged diss track sitting in the vault, that little detail is going to matter a whole lot. A whole lot. Now let's talk about the sample, because this is where the logic completely falls off the bone. Part of Bia's whole theory, the foundation under the 2024 diss, was this idea that Cardi B wanted to be like her. And one of the pillars holding that up was the fact that Cardi and Bia had records built on the same sample. The same sample, fam. That was the evidence. And Cardi B addressed that head-on with what might be the most devastating logic check of the entire night. Cardi essentially said, by that math, does that mean I want to be Coi Leray too? Because Cardi and Coi Leray have used the same sample. Coi Leray has touched that sample, Bia has touched that sample, half of rap has touched that sample, so does everybody who ever flipped it want to be Bia? Does Coi Leray want to be Bia? Does Bia want to be Coi Leray? Fam, everybody in this industry uses the same samples. Producers shop the same packs to 20 different artists. If sharing a sample means somebody wants to be you, then the entire Billboard chart is one big identity theft convention. Be for real. And this is the part where I have to put on my little analyst hat, so bear with me. Because I keep coming back to the math of this situation, and the math is not matting. Let's work a problem together. If Keisha drops 3 mixtapes and can't sell out a roller rink and Keisha needs a moment. Ooh, y'all almost there, stay with me, what does Keisha do? Keisha can't manufacture a hit, but Keisha can manufacture proximity. So Keisha finds the biggest room in the building and stands next to it. Now look at the sequence again with fresh eyes. Bia apologizes to Doja Cat, who is currently on a live stream with thousands of people watching. Doja Cat, whose name is hot in the algorithm that exact day. And in the very same breath, Bia re-ups on Cardi B, whose name has more gravitational pull than any other female rapper alive. An apology to Doja gets Bia into the news cycle. A shot at Cardi keeps Bia in the news cycle. One name opens the door, the other name pays the rent. That is not healing, fam. That is arithmetic. And the Doja Cat apology starts looking less like growth and more like a costume, because you cannot preach peace to Doja Cat in sentence 1 and declare war on Cardi B in sentence 2 and expect nobody to notice the whiplash. Because let's be honest about what the peace offering to Doja Cat actually was. Doja Cat didn't ask for that moment. Doja Cat was just playing music on her own stream, minding her own business, refusing to let the chat run her playlist. Doja Cat gave Bia nothing but grace, unearned grace by the way, because the chat was ready to exile that song on sight, and Doja Cat waved them off. And Bia took that little window of Doja Cat's goodwill and used it as a press conference backdrop. All Doja Cat did was play a song and accidentally open a portal. Now let's also deal with the gang claim because Cardi B addressed that too and it deserves its own moment. One of the stories that has floated around from Bia's side of the fence is this claim that Cardi had to get, let's say, initiated into her gang, and Cardi B shot that down immediately. Cardi said when she was 16 she didn't do any of that. None of it. And then Cardi B turned it around with the kind of line that ends arguments, you're talking all this gangster talk, but you were never a gangster to begin with. And fam, that's the recurring theme of this entire feud when you boil it down. Every accusation from that side turns out to be a story. The cheating story, name one man still waiting. The imitation story, everybody uses that sample including Coi Leray. The gangster story, you were never outside like that. Story after story after story, and the moment anybody asks for a page number, the book closes. And here is the question that I cannot get past, the question that sits at the very center of this entire situation like a loaded weapon. To this day, Bia has never named one single thing that Cardi B actually did to her. Not one. Think about that. We are going on 2 years of this. A whole diss track in 2024. A double down, I still stand on it, in 2026. And at no point has Bia ever stood in front of the world and said, this is what Cardi B did to me. Here is the offense, here is the moment, here is the damage. Never. The grievance has no birthday. The grievance has no address. And when you line that up next to what Cardi B described, the messengers, the please tell Cardi I don't have a problem with her campaign, the friendship that never got reciprocated, a very ugly picture starts to form, and it's a picture Cardi herself basically framed. You wanted to be my friend, I didn't want to be your friend, and so you made up lies about me. Rejection dressed up as retaliation. That's the thesis. And honestly, 2 years of silence on the question, what did Cardi B actually do to you, is the loudest evidence supporting it. Meanwhile, the career shots in that space's audio were not subtle, and we have to talk about them because they connect to everything. The internet has had a running joke for a while now, name 5 Bia songs. Right now. Go. And fam, people have been trying to name 5 Bia songs for years, and the list stalls out around 1.5. This is the same internet that nicknamed her with that awful bathroom joke we are not going to repeat. Well, the joke rhymes with diarrhea Bia. And the point underneath the cruelty is a real one. The discography never caught up to the drama. And that asymmetry is exactly why Cardi B's weirdo rant landed the way it did. Cardi wasn't just insulting Bia. Cardi B was indicting a whole career strategy, one where the headlines do the streaming numbers the music couldn't. Now I want to be careful here because fairness matters to me. Bia is not talentless. Bia has had moments, Bia has had placements, and there are people who genuinely ride for Bia's music. Nobody is saying the woman never made a song worth playing. Doja Cat was literally playing one. But there's a difference between having songs and having a career that stands on its own legs, and the accusation Cardi B is making, the accusation underneath all the insults, is that Bia keeps using Cardi's name as a leg. And when you look at the timeline, the apology to Doja, double down on Cardi sequence, it's getting harder and harder to argue that leg isn't load-bearing. And while the fan bases are outside going 12 rounds in every comment section known to man, I need you to notice who has not said a single word. Offset. The man whose name is sitting at the center of this entire hurricane. The cheating allegation was about Cardi's marriage to Offset. The counter-allegation is about somebody near Bia allegedly being involved with Offset. The fake page was allegedly spreading rumors around Offset's circle, and Offset has been quieter than a church mouse on vacation. Not a tweet, not a story, not a like. And fam, Offset's silence is doing a lot of talking. Because think about it, if the rumors flying around your name were completely fabricated, the natural human reflex is to say so. Offset has never been shy about jumping online when he feels away. We've seen Offset clap back over far less than this. But this time, radio silence. Now, maybe Offset is just staying out of women's business, and honestly, that would be the smartest move Offset has ever made. Or maybe Offset is staying quiet because everything in this story is one subpoena, one screenshot, or one board group chat member away from getting very real. I don't know the answer. But I know that Cardi B said on that space is plain as day, that Offset knows what's up with certain people. That's Cardi telling the world there's a file on Offset's desk, whether Offset ever opens it publicly or not. And let's not forget the divorce wrinkle, because it makes Offset's position in all of this even more fascinating. Cardi B is out here joking about Offset sending 50 ball for the kids' birthday parties, which tells you the paperwork between Cardi and Offset is still very much a live situation. And now Offset is watching a whole new public war break out over allegations about what Offset was allegedly doing during the marriage, with whom and who knew. If you are Offset right now, every notification on your phone is a potential landmine. If the nuke drops and Offset's name is all over that record, and fam, there is no version of this diss track where Offset is not at least a supporting character, then Offset goes from silent bystander to unwilling co-star of the messiest rollout of the year. Offset doesn't even have to speak. The song will speak for him. Now, on the other side of the blast radius you have Doja Cat, and I genuinely feel for Doja Cat here. Because Doja Cat did everything right. Doja Cat was on her own stream, playing music, refusing to let the chat bully her playlist, and extending grace to an artist who had once come for her. That is grown behavior. That is exactly what we say we want from these celebrities. And what did Doja Cat get for it? Doja Cat got used as the opening act for a war declaration. The apology Bia offered Doja Cat was supposed to be the headline of the week: reconciliation, maturity, girls supporting girls. Instead, that apology is now a footnote because 60 minutes later the whole internet forgot Doja Cat's name was ever involved and locked in on Cardi B and the nuke. Doja Cat extended an olive branch and watched it get converted into kindling within the hour. And here's the question nobody is asking. How does Doja Cat feel tonight? Because if I am Doja Cat, I am looking at this timeline sideways. Doja Cat accepted an apology from somebody who, in the very same scroll session, proved she was still standing on an old diss against another woman. Does that apology even mean anything now? Is Doja Cat going to address it? Probably not. Doja Cat has mastered the ancient art of minding her business, but if Doja Cat ever does speak on it, that stream is going to break the internet in half. Now let's zoom all the way out and talk about stakes because this is bigger than two rappers trading insults. For Cardi B, this is about legacy defense. Cardi B has spent years building an empire, chart records, business deals, brand partnerships, a fanbase that mobilizes like a small army, and Cardi is making it clear that the era of letting lies marinate is over. Cardi B watched what silence cost other people in this industry, and Cardi decided her silence was no longer for sale. That's what the spaces really was. A public notice that the grace period has ended. For Bia, the stakes are survival. Because let's keep it a buck. Bia's name is only this hot because Cardi B's name is attached to it. That is an uncomfortable truth, but it is the truth. If the nuke drops and it's mid, Bia survives, maybe even eats off the sympathy. But if the nuke drops and it's everything Cardi B is promising, the bars, the receipts, the recordings Cardi claims exist, then Bia is facing the one thing no manufactured moment can fix. A record so definitive it rewrites the entire story with Bia as the villain of her own beef. And Bia would have to respond. On wax. In a climate where the internet already struggles to name 5 Bia songs. That's not a battle, fam. That's a baptism by fire. So here's what happens next, and mark my words on all 3 of these. Scenario 1. Cardi B sits on the track and lets the threat keep doing the work. The smartest play because an armed weapon gets more headlines than a fired one. Scenario 2. Cardi drops it without warning on a Friday night and melts the servers, the chaotic play and honestly the on-brand play. Or Scenario 3. Somebody from either camp leaks something first, a snippet, a screenshot, a piece of that alleged Finsta paper trail, and forces Cardi B's hand early. That third one is the sleeper, fam. Because the one thing we know about this situation is that everybody in it loves to talk. And people who love to talk eventually talk to the wrong person. And now we have to talk about what the internet did next because this is where the story goes from messy to full-on chaos. While all of this was happening, while Cardi B was on Spaces emptying the clip, the internet somehow manufactured an entirely new rumor out of thin air. Remember, Cardi's allegation was that Offset had allegedly been involved with somebody close to Bia. Somebody in Bia's circle. But within about 20 minutes, that sentence had mutated. Suddenly the claim flying around social media was that Bia herself was the one who had been involved with Offset. Fam, that is not what Cardi B said. Cardi said somebody close to her. But the internet does not do nuance, the internet does telephone. And by the time the game of telephone was over, Bia's name and Offset's name were trending together for something Cardi B never actually accused her of. And to Bia's credit, and I will give credit exactly where it's due, Bia wasted no time shutting that specific rumor down. Bia jumped into a fan account's replies in all caps and said, "Never would I ever." All caps fam. The caps lock was working overtime. So let's be precise on the record because precision matters. Bia has denied being involved with Offset, and honestly that specific rumor always seemed like internet fan fiction to me anyway. But, and this is a big but, notice what Bia did not rush to deny. Bia did not rush to deny the Finsta allegation. Bia did not rush to deny knowing anything about anybody in her circle being involved with Offset. Bia did not rush to answer name one man. The all-caps energy showed up for the rumor the internet invented, and went quiet for the allegations Cardi B actually made. Make of that what you will. I'm just laying the pieces on the table. And there's an irony here so thick you could spread it on toast. Because for one shining moment, Bia got to experience exactly what Cardi B has been living with for years. Watching the internet take a story involving your name, twist it into its most scandalous possible shape, and sprint it around the world before you can even type a denial. That is literally what the 2024 diss track did to Cardi. An improving claim pressed into a song streamed into eternity. And Bia's response to tasting her own medicine was all caps and outrage. Meanwhile Cardi B has been swallowing that same medicine for 2 years and finally walked up to the microphone and said, "Name one man. What are you waiting on?" Now, in the middle of all this warfare, Cardi B also gave us the most unexpectedly human moment of the night, and it was about Offset. Because with Offset's name getting dragged into every corner of this story, you'd expect Cardi to be at Offset's throat too. But no. Cardi B said, plainly, "I'm not even beefing with my ex-husband." Cardi said she doesn't really talk to him right now but there's no beef. And then Cardi B delivered the single funniest line of the entire Spaces, saying she just wants him to go ahead and divorce her and send that 50 ball for these kids' birthday parties. 50 ball fam. For birthday parties. Only Cardi B can be in the middle of declaring nuclear war on an op and simultaneously negotiating divorce logistics and party budgets in the same breath. And listen, underneath the comedy, that moment told you something real. Cardi's issue was never really about Offset in this fight. Cardi B made it clear Offset knows exactly what's up with certain people. The marriage stuff is Cardi's business to handle. The lies are what Cardi B came to Spaces to bury. Which brings us to the nuke. The moment that turned a response into a threat that the entire industry is now bracing for. Cardi B told that audience, and this is the part one need everybody to hear twice, that when it comes to this she's Churchill. Ready to blow. That the nuke will be dropped for real. Fam, Cardi B did not say, "I might respond." Cardi did not say, "We'll see." Cardi B said the weapon already exists. There is, allegedly, a finished, recorded, sitting in the vault diss track with Bia's name written all over it. And the only question left on the table is the launch date. And I need you to understand the difference between those two things because it's the whole ball game. Anybody can say, "I could respond." That costs nothing. That's a tweet. But I already have the song. That is a completely different animal. That means at some point in some studio, Cardi B was angry enough to book the session, write the verses, cut the vocals and finish the record. And then instead of releasing it, Cardi put it in a vault. Which means one of two things is true. Either that song is so devastating it was being saved as a last resort, a break glass in case of emergency record, or Cardi B always knew this day would come, and the track has just been sitting there aging like wine, waiting for Bia to do exactly what Bia did on Thursday. Either way, the chessboard looks very different when one player has already built the bomb. And here's what makes it genuinely scary for the other side. Remember what Cardi B said earlier, that she has recordings, that she was actually talking to this girl back in the day, and it's on recording. Now put that next to a finished diss track and ask yourself the question that's keeping certain people up at night. What if it's not just bars? What if there are receipts on that record? Voice notes? Timestamps? A regular diss track is an opinion with a beat behind it. But a diss track backed by documentation isn't a diss track anymore. It's a documentary. And that's before we even get to whatever Cardi B might say about the Finsta situation, the group chats, the circle around Offset, all the things Cardi alluded to but didn't fully unpack on Spaces. If even half of Cardi B's allegations made it onto that record, Bia is not walking into a rap battle. Bia is walking into an expose with a hook. Now could it all be a bluff? Sure. Let's steelman the other side for a second. Maybe there is no track. Maybe Churchill was a moment of adrenaline on live audio and the vault is empty. That's possible. But I would not bet a single dollar on that, and here's why. The thread of the song is already doing the work of the song. Look around. We are days removed from that Spaces and every blog, every page, every streamer is still talking about a record nobody has heard. Bia is trending. Cardi B is trending. The nuke hasn't dropped and the fallout is already global. And that's the terrifying genius of it. Whether Cardi B ever presses release or not, Bia now has to live every single day underneath an armed warhead. wondering if today is the day. Cardi B doesn't have to drop the song to win the war. Cardi just has to keep the silo door open. So where does that leave us? Let's run the verdict. On one side you have Cardi B, answered the cheating allegation with a 7-year denial backed by her own children, issued a Name One Man challenge that remains unanswered, countered with allegations of her own, the Finsta, the circle around Offset, the group chat plotting, all alleged, all unconfirmed, and then revealed a finished diss track and compared herself to a wartime prime minister. On the other side you have Bia. An apology to Doja Cat that aged like milk in under an hour, a double down I still stand on it, with 0 names, 0 dates, and 0 receipts attached, an all-caps denial of a rumor Cardi B never actually made, and total silence on every allegation Cardi actually did make. And hovering over all of it, the same unanswered question it has always been. What did Cardi B ever do to Bia? 2 years. Still no answer. So now I'm turning it over to the court of public opinion, and I want real answers in the comments. Number 1. Do you believe Cardi B actually has this diss track finished and ready? Or is the threat itself the whole weapon? Number 2. If that nuke drops tomorrow, is Bia remotely ready for it? And before you answer, name 5 Bia songs. Number 3. Did Cardi B go too far getting personal? The nieces, the breath, the boyfriend? Or did Bia earn every syllable of it by reopening a 2-year-old wound unprompted? And number 4. Should Bia have just scrolled past that comment? Because that's the part that gets me. This entire war, the allegations, the denials, the Finsta claims, the Offset side plot, the nuke on the launch pad, all of it traces back to one comment that Bia could have kept scrolling past. One little comment. That's the butterfly that flapped its wings. And now we're standing here measuring the blast radius in kilotons. And fam, this story is nowhere near over. Because if that vault opens, if Cardi B actually presses the button, everything changes in one night. The Finsta allegations, the recordings Cardi claims to have, the question of who's really in Bia's circle and what they know about Offset. I am watching that situation like a hawk, and the second anything moves, I am going live with every page of it. So if you want the fallout report the moment it lands, you already know what to do. Drop your verdict in the comments, keep your notifications on, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.